We actually calculated, can everybody see there? It's not too dark. No. So what I did, please listen, is I calculated the average price, was 731. Then we calculated that 65 units were damaged. Now, if I look at these information, can you see that everything must be written off as a loss? Meaning this loss was not insured. The insurance is not paying out something. So in other words, I must remember to take that amount to the income statement. I'm going to have a loss, on t-shirts or whatever, of 47515, and because you transferred it, it's going to be a principal mark. Everybody happy? So now, next one. Fixed assets. Now, what do I know? Oh, before I go on, what am I doing? I am doing an income statement and a balance sheet. But can you see the balance sheet is only the equity and liabilities? If it was the assets as well, you should have remembered to put in your closing stock with inventory as well. That's 731, I would have times with the units that was left, the 1185. You're not going to subtract 65 from that. You're going to take the 1185 if you want the closing stock. Let me just quickly make a note for you. If I want the closing stock, I would take that average price and I would times the 1185. I'm not going to subtract the 65 damaged, because when I did my stock take, remember this is the amount that I got through a stock take. And when I do my stock take, can I count stuff that's not there? No. The damaged stuff was already removed, thrown away. So it's already taken into account here. If they told you that stock take was done before the goods was damaged, then you would have subtracted it. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, so no, I don't have to put the stock anywhere else. I only needed to put it with the damaged goods. But now let's go to the second one. Now fixed assets, let's quickly just think in our heads. Fixed assets, I want to show the carry value in the face of the balance sheet. It goes with non-current assets, but as I can see, they only asked me liabilities, equity and liability, so I don't care about the balance sheet phase, fixed assets. So the only thing I literally care about is, did I buy on credit and was it recorded? And the second thing that I need to know, so that will go to the balance sheet only if I bought something on credit and I didn't record it. Okay? The income statement, I will show the depreciation and the asset disposal profit or loss. So let's see, what do they give me? They give me land and buildings? No. They give me vehicles. Can you see they give me the opening? Please stop talking. The opening and the closing. Right. So can you see for vehicles, they give me the opening, and the accumulated, they give me the opening. For equipment, they give me the closing and the opening. Right. So now let's see. Vehicles are depreciated 20% on diminishing balance, equipment 15% on cost. Now, what do I know? I'm in grade 12, and as soon as I see the method on cost, I'm aware of the residual value thing. So I need to be aware of that. Okay? So, let's go on. The bookkeeper calculated the total depreciation as 328,200 before taking the following into account. So what must we take into account? An old vehicle with a carry value was sold. Okay? So, can you see that depreciation is already in there, ne?
Yeah.
Because now I'm Democrat. Help me here. Do you think that so now my mind goes,
You counted 12 months. Isn't it? You counted 12 months instead of less months because you didn't take it.
that's my thing is, they took it into account, that's what I was wondering,
Yeah, 12 months.
for 12 months.
Yeah.
But now, let's quickly see, it was sold the 1st of December. My financial year is 28 February, meaning this vehicle I've had March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I had it for 9 months. Okay? So, 170, ne? Times, and they say 20% for 9 months. What was the depreciation? 2. Okay, but now, 25,500. Okay, but now what is the problem here? This is 9 months. What did they already calculate? 12 months. So they calculated 170 times 20%, which gives me 34,000. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
But we are only supposed to show 25,500. Can you see? Overstated with how much?
8,000.
8,500. So can you see when I go to the depreciation here, the depreciation they give me 328,200. Ne? I need to subtract the 85. You understand why? You can also do it like this. You can subtract the 34, ne? Take out the wrong one and add the right one, which was 25,500. You can do it that way as well. It's the same as the less 85. Is everybody with me? I take out the wrong, I put in the right. Sharp. Okay. Another thing with asset disposal is what? A profit or a loss. So let's go look. I draw a quick T. Ne? They tell me that the carry value is 170. Okay, I don't have a T. So the carry value is 170 less what? 25,500, ne? Because the 170 was the first of the year, ne? The start of the year. We've had it 9 months longer, which depreciated to 25,500. So that gives me, what is the carry value now? 144,500, and I sold it for 140, which means I made a loss of 4,500. Is everybody with me? So I'm going to have a loss on asset disposal, 4,500. Where did I get the 25,500 is when I calculate the depreciation for 9 months. Remember? Okay, here we go on. So now let's see equipment. There's also an alarm system costing 48,000 that was installed on the 1st of August. Okay, this thing, can I be honest with you? For me, this thing is difficult because it's not clear what the mistake is they made. So they've calculated that, but did they take that whole thing? So now we go with the assumption that they've calculated the whole year. That's not what I'm doing. So what I'm thinking in my head.
Or she took the total and just.
Yes, what I'm thinking in my head is she looks what was the final amount. I know I'm recording. I want you to see how my thought process is. So for me, if they give it like this, it's like they calculated all of this as if I had it the whole year. And I need to subtract the excess, that which I calculated too much. That's how I understand it, right? I don't understand that it wasn't taken into account at all, because if they said here that this was installed and not recorded, then my mind would say, oh yeah, it's not recorded, which means it's not in my book, so she hasn't done the depreciation at all. But it just says there, it's there. There's no thing of it wasn't recorded. So it means if I look at my equipment total, that 956 already includes the alarm system. Does that make sense to you? That's how I'm thinking. So how are you thinking? I'm quite stupid here, Nay. Can you see that I'm stupid? Because I was supposed to use the answer sheet. And in the answer sheet, they already gave me that. Nay? So let's quickly see. Can you see the depreciation before adjustments? So we were right about the vehicle sold. Can you see? But they added. This thing doesn't make sense to me. So I want to see. So what they are actually saying is you see, for me, if they say the bookkeeper calculated the total depreciation before taking the following into account, it means he took the final figures, he calculated it as if he had everything as a year. So I have a problem with this memo, okay? But I can't do anything about it. So what, for you it makes sense, but not for me. For me, just adding it, so what they did is they just literally just did the calculations extra. I don't know. My head does not understand it like this. I'm sorry if I make you confused. How I understand it is that, please stop talking. How I understand it is that he did the depreciation on the amounts that's currently in the books. And currently in the books, nothing of this was not recorded. So what they are actually saying here, so the way they did the memo, am I right if I'm saying then that they are saying here the bookkeeper calculated the total depreciation before taking the following into account, meaning then it actually means that these things were not posted. But then I have a second question. My second question is, did we buy it on credit or whatever? Because then it will also influence my bank or my creditors control, which it doesn't. So this for me is a problem, and that's why I'm only a normal teacher, and I am not the one setting up these papers. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe
So, what we assume then, if I look at the memo, what is assumed here is he worked out the old. That's what we assumed. He worked out the old, but we still need to do the sold and the new. You agree with me? So in other words, if I look at the memo, this one is the old one, and they want me to calculate the sold one and the new one. And the sold one we calculated 25,500, and the new one we're going to calculate that alarm system of 140, and they say it's 15% on cost, and they say I had it I had it from August, so it's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months, and according to the memo it's 4,200. Is that right? That's according to the memo, isn't it? What is it? Yeah, 4,200. Don't know me. What does yours say? So let me do it again. The new equipment is 48,000. So 48,000, it's 15% on cost for 7 months. I don't hear what you say. So now I'm going to add all of that, if I can find my paper again. Ugh. So I'm going to transfer it, depreciation 357,900, and they were very nice telling you that these amounts have to be transferred. This is not necessarily going to be in the paper. You have to know that you need to transfer it. Sorry for that. Now I had a hiccup on my recording, but let's go on. So here we go. So I hope we are now settled and done with this one. Yes? Okay. So everybody's with me. This one that I did was wrong. My interpretation was wrong. But in real life, I don't think I'm wrong. I think I'm right. Yes. The thing is, when you are in doubt, you go according to what you feel strongly. You can't sit on the thing of maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not right, maybe I'm not wrong. Because can I just show you here on the memo? Can you see you're literally going to lose 3 marks? Yeah. You're going to lose 3 marks. Because that mark you're going to get, because you're going to have one part right, remember? Because what are we going to do? We're going to say here the total less the 25,500. So you're going to have a part there that's right. So you're going to get that one. And you're going to get it here. You're going to get it here, depreciation 3,5 whatever. Okay. So 3 marks is not worth you sitting. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I maybe no? No. Ooh. 10 minutes gone. Where you could have earned marks somewhere else. Okay. So you go according to your gut. And if it was me, I would have thought, okay, everything was already calculated. Let's subtract the wrong one. I would have lost all my marks. But you know what? I would have finished my paper because I would not sit here in 2 thoughts for 10 minutes. Okay. Let's go on. What break? Break is for sissies. We are accounting. We are not scared of going through break. Breathe. Open your mouth and breathe. Yeah. Let's go on. Let's go on. Here we go. So 33,700 received from a debtor whose account was previously written off. Now what do I know? This is bank and it's bad debts recovered. Can you see there's no debtors control? Was posted in error to the debtors control account. So this was wrong, meaning they didn't use bad debts recovered. So now I need to go debit debtors control. Can you see if they ask me assets, my debtors would increase, and credit bad debts recovered. And now I'm doing an income statement, so bad debts recovered must go into my income statement, 33,700. Yes. You're not going to do. So in the balance sheet, I'm not going to do anything because they didn't ask the asset part. If they asked the asset part, my receivables would be plus 33,700 because I have to add it back. Because what I actually did, here's my debtors control, I minused 33,700. But that debtor doesn't exist in my books anymore. So now I need to plus it back.
Isn't that debtors control is also
in the balance sheet? Yes, but if you look at the answer sheet, can you see they didn't ask me the assets?
Oh no, it's a what if?
Yeah, what if it was a what if, I would have my receivables would plus 33,700 because I need to add it back. Ne? Because I subtracted it from my debtors, but this guy is no longer a debtor. He was already bad debted. So I wrote him off. I was supposed to debit bank and credit bad debt recovered. But then I went and I credit debtors. So I need to fix the error. Meaning I need to take it out of the debtors and put it into the bad debts recovered. Okay, why would I add? Because remember, my debtors amount here, let's say the balance here was 100,000. Ne? Now I'm going to subtract 33,700, so it's going to look like the debt of my debtors is less. But the debtors didn't pay me.
Wait, I'm lost now.
Yes, I can see that.
Isn't it that when bad debt is recovered, it increases? So they would assume that your...
Okay, let's just quickly go to the scenario. I'm going to use a value 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I had a debtors control with a balance of 100. Can you guys not be busy with other stuff? Okay. So now what happened? This debtor who owes me 10 rand is bad debted. So I'm going to bad debt 10 rand. So now my balance is 90. Okay? So bad debt is 10. Now, after 2 or 3 months, now suddenly the debtor pays me. Can you see that 10 rand is already deducted from the debtor's control? But what did this bookkeeper now do? He said, oh, this guy paid me 10 rand. You see?
Yeah.
So now, it looks like my debtor's control is only 80, which is wrong. Because this guy has already been written off here. So we are supposed to put it in bad debts recovered, right? So now I need to fix the mistake. Can you see now I need to add back the 10 and go put it in bad debts recovered.
Okay.
Is everybody with me now? You want to just watch it a bit because I write so pretty. So can you see why I added back? So let's go on to the next one. The next one, provision for bad debts must be adjusted to 3% of the debtors. Now, remember, how does provision work? Provision works like this. Debtors control plus minus adjustments. answer times percentage gives me the new provision. Less the old provision gives me the adjustment. If it's a plus, it's an expense. If it's a minus, it's a income. Now let's follow that steps. My debtors control, if I look here, they tell me it's 2746,300. So far the only thing that happened to me, to my debtors, is that 33,700 that I need to add back. Okay? So now let's add this back. Let's times it with 3%, and it gives me my new one is how much? And that 83,400, the new one, this would be the one that goes to the balance sheet. So in other words, if I had a receivables, I would subtract it from my receivables. You get it? Okay, I'm just telling you. If you had a balance sheet, a full balance sheet, and you had to show me the assets, under current assets, receivables, you would have minus that, because that is the new provision. And remember, in the balance sheet, it's most debtors less provision equals net debtors. Right. Now I'm going to minus the old one. Now I'm going to minus the old one. You with me? So in other words, in my balance sheet, under current assets, where it says receivables, I will have my debtors control 2746,300, one tick. I would plus the 33,700, one tick. I would minus the 83,400, two ticks. Yes. So now, I am not doing that because they're not asking me current assets. I'm just giving you extra info. We are busy with the income statement though. So I want to see the adjustment. I want to end here. So, what is the old provision? It's 85,840. Can you see I'm making it less with how much?
2,500. Wait. No. Yeah. Okay.
2440, and because it's a minus, it's an income. You see? So now I'm going to go here to my income statement. 2440, provision for bad debt adjustment. You have to have that word because this isn't my provision for bad debt. My provision for bad debt is the 83,400. I'm not showing the provision for bad debt. I'm showing how much I'm going to subtract from the old one to have the new one. Let me just show you the T's for that. If I do provision for bad debt, at this stage it's 85,840, right? Now I want it to be 83,400. Ne? So I'm going to subtract 2440. Can you see? This is the old one. This is the new one. This is the adjustment. This is the one that goes to the balance sheet face. This is the one that goes to the income statement. And can you see I'm subtracting it, meaning it's a income. Is everybody sharp? So, let's go on. Next one they asked, I think when other people from other schools watch this, they think, thank goodness this woman isn't my teacher. She is so dear Moka. Huh? Yes.
So
And it's not recorded. Here we go. The business signed a contract with Always Safe Securities for guarding the premises. An annual premium for the period ended was paid in full. Now this is most now obviously a prepaid expense. Okay? So 32,400. How many months? Can you see this is also UK? Unknown, over known. Ne? Can you see that? Okay. So what's the unknown months? It will be from the day our year ends. Ne? Can you see how weird they say this? Because they say the period ended 31st July and started 1st August. They swap the beginning and the end in the wording. Okay, but now we know it ends 31st July. My year ends 28th February. So March, April, May, June, July. 5 months in advance. You can do it one of two ways. Let me just show you. So my year starts 1st March, 28th Feb. This ends 31st July. So you can ask yourself, if this contract was made on the 1st of August, so the 1st of August till the 28th of February is August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months. So if they paid 12 months, it means 5 months in advance. Or you can say to yourself, it's easier for me to see, oh, you know what, it goes from 28 February, the end of my year, till the end, and then you count March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. Okay. So, what is my prepaid? Is it 1? So insurance is going to be less. $13,500. Okay. And if we did the face of the balance sheet, the whole one, this would have gone to receivables. Next one. All details in respect of the February salary of an employee were incorrectly debited to the sundry expenses. Meaning whatever I'm going to do with salary and wages, I'm going to subtract here from sundry expenses. Okay. So, let's go on. What do I put in my income statement? In my income statement goes the gross and the contribution, right? In the balance sheet goes what I owe, right? Meaning the deduction and the contribution. So let's quickly go look. So first of all, they say I have a net salary and I have deductions. Now I know net plus deductions gives me gross. So if I go into my thingamajig here, I'm going to say, let me just fold it. I'm going to say 11,525 plus 3,235 plus 990. And you're going to see most of the time you won't even have enough space, so you would just do it downstairs there. Okay? What else? Is there contributions? Yes. The business deducted 2 rand for every 1 rand of pension. So if I times that with 2, it gives me 1,980. So you also add 1,980. Is there any salary and wage in the trial balance? Yes. It says 1,3. That's why I'm saying 1,3. Now I've totally missed it. 8,1,500. Ne? plus whatever is highlighted there, ne? Okay. Please don't highlight in your question paper. I don't know. That is now a new rule that came in last year.
Yeah.
That you can highlight on your question paper but not your answer sheet. And in any case, because they scan these things, the highlighted stuff is black. So please don't highlight, but we're doing it now just for ourselves. So from the start, just immediately go and write it here at the bottom. Okay. Just so let's go on. So what I will do is I will total all of this, ne? And I'm going to subtract it here as well. Okay. Next one. Next. EFT payments have already been processed for all the relevant amounts payable. So can you see nothing is going to go into payables? Can you see that? Because we've paid everything. The mistake was literally that I just showed it in the wrong T account. So it's only my income statement that's wrong. The people got their money. Okay. You guys get it? Okay, let's go on. Income tax. A tenant has been leasing office space on the premises. Must I stop the video now and start a new one? This is already 36 minutes. It's on YouTube.
Mute. There's mute at the corner.
Hey.
This one.